All right, time to dive deep into Hoplomachus Remastered. This one plunges you right into Roman gladiatorial combat. You're here because, well, this game's caught your attention, and we're using the rulebook itself. Your insider's guide, basically.
The lore is striking. It's not just gladiators fighting for glory. There's a bigger conflict here.
Okay, set the scene. What's behind all this arena action?
Imagine Rome, 79 AD. But here's the twist. Pluto, the god of the underworld, threatens to engulf the world. Your warriors honing your skills in the arenas for this ultimate showdown.
So, no, just glory. Defending the world from a supernatural threat. Epic backdrop for a board game.
Exactly. This depth comes through in the gameplay. Not just rolling dice, it needs tactical thinking, planning, understanding core concepts.
Break those down for us then. What are the building blocks?
Think of it like this. You command a troop of units, your warriors. Each has stats: health, attack, range, and movement. You'll consider these when building your troop and fighting.
I'm already seeing the strategy. Do I go high attack or range?
And you'll choose a faction for your troop. Amazons, Romans, or the Kunlun. Each brings unique units and tactics.
Choosing a team with a play style. So many strategies could come from that.
Leading your troop, you'll have a hero. Elite units with enhanced abilities, tougher. They can turn a fight, but use them wisely.
Okay, I'm picturing this. My troop, hero ready, facing an opponent. What next? A typical turn.
You're at the arena's edge. Which unit do you deploy from your camp?
Shaping the battle from the start.
Once in, the maneuvering begins. Think about movement, the arena, any stone hexes for bonuses.
Terrain matters too. I see how positioning is crucial in Hoplomachus.
It's not just moving. You've got to outsmart your opponent. Tactics.
I love that. What kind of tactics?
Tactic cards on your units or theirs. Temporary boosts, hindering movement, disrupting plans, creating opportunities.
So it's a mind game as much as physical? I'm already thinking of some devious plays. Then what? I've positioned my units, played my tactics.
Engagement. You attack your opponent, unleash an ability, or maybe a retreat.
Plans succeed, or, crumble under pressure.
Every decision matters. But there's another element essential to the gladiatorial experience.
I'm on the edge of my seat. What's this missing piece?
The crowd. These are gladiatorial games. Their favor matters, and in Hoplomachus, it determines your success.
Right, crowd favor. How does that factor in?
Skillful defeats, completing objectives, putting on a show. It builds momentum.
Not just brute force.
Yeah.
Playing to the crowd, using that. I love it. What can you do with it?
Spend it on powerful rewards. Activate your hero's ability, gain new units, unleash special tactics, turn the tide of battle.
So the crowd's reaction has a real impact, like another player influencing things.
And earning and spending crowd favor changes depending on the arena. Two main ones, Puli and the Coliseum.
Arena choice adds strategy, too. This game is intriguing.
Each arena has a unique layout, crowd favor rules. Puli, it's more linear. Coliseum, multiple tracks, more choices.
All right, let's pause. A lot to take in. What are your initial impressions so far? Tactical combat, strategy, thematic immersion. Resonating.
Welcome back. You're starting to get the depth of Hoplomachus. Let's get into those tactical choices, starting with combat.
Definitely. You said it's more than just rolling dice. What makes it engaging?
Innate skills. Always active, even when it's not your turn. You need to know what your opponent's units can do, even during their turn.
Like chess. Every move matters, even your opponent's. Adds tension to every battle.
Exactly. And when you deploy a unit, they're dazed. Can't move or attack right away. They need to, get acclimated.
Tactically, that makes sense. No dropping in a powerful unit and causing chaos right away. You've got to plan those deployments.
So you've positioned your units, considered those innate skills, and you're ready to engage. How does that go in Hoplomachus?
All right, walk me through it. I've got a unit in range, ready to strike. What next?
First, range. How far away they can attack. Some are melee, others ranged.
Positioning is crucial. No archers next to swordsmen.
Right. You've chosen your target, gather the dice, and here's where attack stats come in. Different colors, different hit likelihood. Black, strongest, then green, blue, yellow.
A unit with lots of black dice is going to be tough.
You roll, count hits, that's the damage. Of course, you can modify the rules with tactics cards.
Add more dice to your attack, maybe upgrade weaker dice to a stronger color.
You got it. And you could hinder your opponent's attacks, make them roll weaker dice, reduce their range.
A real mind game to combat.
Yeah.
Anticipating moves, playing tactics right, capitalizing on opportunities.
And it's not always about attacking directly. Remember those special skills. During engagement, instead of attacking, you can activate one.
So attack for immediate damage or a special skill for strategy. What kind of skill would make me choose that over an attack?
Tough opponent, your unit's taking damage. Heal your unit, keep them in the fight longer. Or reposition an enemy unit, expose a weakness. Some special skills can do that.
Special skills add another layer of decision-making. It's not just attacking, it's using your unit's abilities right. But what about when you're playing solo or co-op, against the game itself? How do those rival units act?
Good question. Rival units, Immortals in Onslaught mode or Titans in Ascension, aren't mindless. They follow rules, priorities, like a basic AI guiding them.
Not random movement. There's logic to their actions.
Yeah.
That's good. I always worry about those roll-to-move systems that feel random.
Right. They have priority lists. For example, in Onslaught, they'll attack anyone on a stone hex first because of the bonuses, then the hero, then the strongest opponent.
So in solo or co-op, I can try to predict their movements, counter their strategies, use my knowledge of their priorities to, I don't know, set traps, lure them, protect my units.
Exactly. And these priority lists can change depending on the game mode the Titan you're facing. You need to adapt, think ahead. It makes Hoplomachus replayable. Even against the game, you're challenged to find new solutions, overcome obstacles.
A mental workout, but a good one. It rewards planning, strategic thinking, understanding the mechanics.
Definitely. But even with all this, the game flows well. Each step builds on the last. Rules are easy to follow. Once you grasp the core concepts, it all falls into place.
Okay, I'm convinced. I was a bit intimidated by the rulebook, but you've explained it well. And I like that it's thematic. You're not just moving pieces. You're commanding warriors, vying for the crowd's favor, trying to save the world.
And that's where the Immortals and Titans come in. They're not generic enemies. Each has unique abilities, allies that change the battle completely.
Okay, tell me more about them. What abilities showcase the depth and variety of Hoplomachus?
All right, back to those Immortals and Titans, each with unique, well, twists and abilities. What are some examples that show the challenges?
Yeah, those really caught my attention.
So picture an immortal that can displace your units, pushing them out of position or even right into danger. Or maybe you're fighting a Titan that manipulates these mystical shards on the board, creating obstacles, maybe even changing the arena itself. They're not just, standing there, real forces.
So not just strength, but unpredictable powers. You have to anticipate their moves. You've got to be on your toes with those tougher enemies.
It's all about adapting, thinking strategically. You can't just use the same tactics, that work against regular opponents. Analyze their abilities, find those weaknesses.
You mentioned shards. What are those, and how do they work in Titan battles?
Shards. Think of them as mystical elements that each Titan can use differently. Some give the Titan more attack power. Others might let them summon allies or really mess up your plans.
So it's not just attacking the Titan. It's controlling those shards, preventing them from using them. Another layer of strategy.
Like a tug of war,
Yeah.
Controlling these powerful things while trying to beat the Titan. But there's another thing we haven't talked about. Unique to the Coliseum arena. Support chips.
Oh, right. Those sounded like they could really shake things up. How do those work again?
Think of them as wild cards. You earn them through crowd favor. Double-sided, each side is a different option. One side, a foothold, a marker on the arena. Only your units can be there.
So footholds control territory. Create choke points, control the flow, protecting areas, setting up flanks.
Exactly. But the other side of the chip, that's where it gets interesting. You can flip it, it becomes a sentinel, a unit, and a powerful one. Defensive towers, basically.
So not just a marker, summoning a new warrior. That changes things.
Yeah.
And they're immobile, but attack from far away, right?
You place them on specific spots in the Coliseum. They can't move, but their attacks can reach pretty far. Game changers, especially if you put them in the right place. Covering your opponent's deployment zones or those choke points.
I love that. Another decision. Foothold for positioning or a sentinel for firepower. Risk versus reward.
And here's a twist. Some crowd favor rewards in the Coliseum give support chips to your opponent.
Wait, what? Helping your opponent? That doesn't make sense.
Might seem that way, but it adds strategy. You need to think about which crowd favor tracks you go for, knowing some might help your opponent. This back and forth, trying to outsmart each other and managing those support chips.
It's a balancing act then. You want the rewards, but gotta think about what they give your opponent. The Coliseum is a real battle of wits. Those support chips add surprise and keep you adapting.
Exactly. Every decision matters in Hoplomachus, and the Coliseum, well, it shows that off.
You've given us a great picture of the strategy, the theme, everything Hoplomachus has to offer. It rewards those who really get into the mechanics, mastering that tactical combat.
It's challenging, rewarding, layers of strategy. Whether you're a veteran or new, looking for something immersive, Hoplomachus has something for you.
I agree. So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the key takeaway for our listener?
Hoplomachus, it's more than a game. It's a journey back in time, a test of your strategic thinking, a celebration of tactical combat. It'll engage you, challenge you, leave you wanting more.
Well said. And to our listener, we hope this deep dive helps you conquer those arenas in Hoplomachus. Remember, mastering the mechanics, understanding each faction, adapting your strategy, that's the key to victory. Until next time, keep seeking knowledge and diving deep.